It is Super Bowl Sunday, so we hope everybody enjoying themselves, drinking, watching the game. My team isn't in it, but I said fuck it. We're in Detroit today.
Yeah.
What up, though? Lions Den. Let's get to the video.
All right, so before we even deep dive into the sexual aspect of things, I just have a question because this is something that I keep seeing on my timeline on Instagram. Sometimes I see it on YouTube. And I understand that a lot of people repurpose a lot of my interviews and they repurpose some of the interviews that I do on other people's platforms. And one of the things that I said in an interview is there is no glory in being a stepfather. And boy, oh boy, do I get so much pushback and feedback. And I've never seen so many men looking to validate a bad decision that they made or to get validation from other women about why it is that you should become a stepfather. I am very perplexed about that. I am so perplexed about the advocating for being a stepfather that it is starting to bother me and I'm starting to lose sleep. Not because I'm wrong, but because I cannot believe that there's so many people that's willing to throw themselves under the bus for somebody that they do not know, and then they find out that they put themselves at a disadvantage financially and they get nothing out of it in return.
Yeah. Honestly, I was going to say there's no glory in being a step parent, period, I feel like. And the glory part of it.
I have a child, and I probably wouldn't date nobody with a kid. And that sounds crazy, but because of that reason, like you just said, you putting all this energy and all this time into somebody, and there's nothing that comes from it. Outside of nagging, outside of sometimes not even letting you discipline the child properly because that's their baby.
Yeah, and not just whooping them. Discipline could mean anything.
Yeah, I'm not saying beat the child, but even just checking him because he won't go take the trash out.
Yeah.
He don't want to do it. And it's like, don't talk to my baby. Like, hold on. So he can come to my house. I can financially take care of him. I can do all this, but I can't tell him that I set rules or boundaries in his household that come with having a child that's not mine. That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. And I know this is a topic that's going to annoy people. Just because, like he said, people think he wrong or mad because of how he feels, and it's a personal preference. If you choose to date someone with kids, go ahead. He's just saying what I would think a lot of people who end up dating people with kids end up finding out later. Sometimes you think you can do something until you're in it and you realize, okay, this is what the disconnect is in this situation, why it's not going how I thought it would.
I just cannot believe that there's so many men that are willing to throw themselves under the bus for the sake of validation from society and from another woman. And I'm trying to figure out who raised y'all and who put that in y'all. Your values, your morals, your ethics, the reason why you do the things that you do on a regular basis, that comes from somewhere. Nobody just inherently wakes up and they are who they are and then they just automatically believes a certain way. Everything that you know, everything that you experience, it's a comparison against your life experiences versus learned behaviors.
100%.
That's a fact. I remember me and the mother of my child, we used to have, like, when we had first broke up, we had went back and forth about a lot of stuff. And then I had to really look at my past about certain things, about how I was acting as a spouse, as a boyfriend. And I realized that it was hard for me to pursue properly because I had never seen really a successful relationship. From growing up, all I seen was domestic violence and arguments and chaos and toxicity. So it was hard for me to come in with a trustworthy mentality because I never seen it properly done. So that is true. And then you had to learn things after from what you grew up on, and then learning it yourself. I do think I'll be a better spouse now through trial and error. But at that time, yeah, I was coming into it like not even knowing that I was like, excuse me, not even knowing that I was like at a disadvantage from what I didn't know.
So, at what point did we start advocating for and having a conversation where we're pushing people, men or women, but especially men, because I can only speak from a man's perspective? Where did we start and where did we go wrong to where we started validating bad behavior from somebody by saying that it's okay to be a stepfather? I'm just genuinely curious. I have no idea where y'all got that from. I am very, very confused as to why y'all push that on people. If that is what you decide to do, then that is what you decide to do. But don't you ever, in no way, shape, or form, sit here and open up your mouth and tell somebody that it is okay for them to put themselves behind the eight ball by sleeping with, marrying, and then making yours something that is inherently not yours. That is not your child. That is not your seed. That is not even your woman that you are repurposing in order to call her your girlfriend, your friend, or your wife. If you want to save the community, if you want to put yourself behind the eight ball, if you want to call yourself a step baby daddy, if you want to go and get adoption papers for somebody else's kid that is not yours, don't look like you, have never been a part of you, and you want to try to imprint upon them like you, the wolf and Twilight,
The wolf on Twilight took me out the game. But
I don't even understand that reference.
you didn't see Twilight.
Oh,
But
okay.
like he said, there is no glory, but that's not to say there's no glory to the world, but there is personal. Like, you know how when you have your own kids, you have, I'm a step parent. So when the same thing when you have kids, when they do stuff like Duke graduated from high school, I'm happy, I'm proud. You have those moments where you be happy, especially because it's just a lot going on. Now I'm glad he actually stayed in school, didn't get distracted or sidetracked,
Right.
or was like, well, this person didn't finish, so I don't have to finish.
So you saying you have that value of almost like a parent. Like I watched you grow up. Still have that glory as a parent to see you push through all the years I've been there. That's fair.
Yeah, but I do understand what he means by that though, because you're ultimately putting all your stuff into this basket, not knowing if it's even gonna do anything. You may be all for nothing. You get what I'm saying? So I get it, but I'm not gonna lie. I would tell my kids not to date nobody with kids. I'm not gonna say not to, but I would tell them why I feel that way. Because a lot of times when we was growing up, this just don't do this, no explanation.
Right.
If you was to kind of be like, okay, well, this is what I've learned and what I've seen, what I've experienced, it may help people be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't date someone with the kids, especially if you want to build a family yourself. Besides just the kids, another thing too that he not mentioning, if they had a baby with somebody else, you're going to be dealing with that somebody else too.
Oh yes, you're definitely attached.
Whether you believe it or not, you are attached. You have to, even if you don't deal with them one-on-one, you're still dealing with them because you're dealing with their child.
I think it's crazier for men too. Well, I'm not gonna say men. Let me backtrack. Let me not sound misogynistic. For whomever is the breadwinner, which is usually the man, it's different when you're attaching yourself financially. I think that's what he's trying to say. You're putting your time, energy, and money into something that will never be yours. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah, really.
And that's a choice that you have to make. And he's saying if you make that choice, don't look for validation from anybody else who don't agree with that. Because to some people, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Then by all means, nobody is stopping you, and there is always going to be a simp around the corner that will make up the worst decision or will make validate themselves by making the worst decision that they ever made in their entire life. It's hard enough finding a woman here in 2023 going into 2024 that can exhibit all of the levels and the qualities of being a wife, and you think that is good to even go further down the rabbit hole for a woman that has children, probably don't even have a relationship, a good relationship at that, with the father of her child, and then you're coming in with no children to then validate the behavior. And again, I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but I'm telling you, why would you advocate for doing something bad as far as doing it the reverse or outside of the purpose or the way that it was supposed to go in the first place?
Why do you keep saying doing something bad? I'm trying to figure out if he's saying being a stepdad is bad or I'm misunderstanding what he's saying. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, the title is being a stepfather is disrespectful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's a big decision to make. It's not. It's a lot. So I get what he's saying now. Like when you explain it, typically men tend to be the breadwinners. You taking on a village. Because I watched a story of a lady who ended up marrying a man when she had 2 kids before she even met him, and then they end up having 2 kids.
Right.
And I'm like, you're taking care of 4 kids, but ultimately, those other 2 kids may not even like you, want to deal with you, care about what you got going on.
Absolutely.
And not to be funny, some women look for someone to take care of their family, not necessarily that they actually love you. Not all women. So I can see where he coming from.
Well, it's like this and that and this and that. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. He had said one time that a girl had a child and she said she was looking for a man, and he was like, "No, you're looking for a father." And she was like, "No, I'm looking for just my man to take care of." But you're looking for a father because you have a child. When you're, especially if you don't got kids, when you start talking to somebody with kids and you don't have children, you dive immediately into parenthood that you wasn't maybe ready for. And I think that's the factor that he's trying to say. You're attaching yourself to a lifestyle that was not yours, that you may not even be ready for, that you may not even want it. And let's say you did want it, even more so, you're doing it with something that not yours, that you have no, I can't say fulfillment, because fulfillment is subjective, but on the grand scheme of things, there's nothing like your child loving you. You ever heard the term, there's nothing like a child's love? That's real. I'm not saying stepkids don't genuinely and unconditionally love their parents, but we're just playing odds of, your child's going to love you. So, that I think is what is the factor in of step parenting, especially if you don't got kids. You're coming directly into being a parent. You went from being a single person to now being a boyfriend, a father, and all this, and you don't want to loosely date to step parent. You talking about getting into marriage and all that. Like, it gets serious very quick when you're going into that.
And you get tied down. There's things that you probably could do without a second thought that now you have to kind of think about it before you just make the decision. You gotta talk about it.
Because as a parent, every decision I make, the back end of it is always, how does it affect my daughter? Every decision I make. So
literally
now, that's how you have to live your life. You have to think of how all these decisions are going to affect your lady, your man, and the kids and all that. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So it is something to think about. It is a very big responsibility.
Why do we keep retrofitting and remixing the right way to go about do things? I wouldn't even recommend a guy that went out there and had children with another woman go out and be a step baby daddy. Not because he can't do what he do, but because I wouldn't advocate somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I wouldn't do it. If I wouldn't do it, why would I recommend you do it? I don't even teach that from a financial perspective. Everything that I speak on, even when I'm giving a recommendation, people ask me all the time, "Anton, what is your stock pick? What do you think about investing in this company?" or whatever, so on and so forth. I give you my thoughts, and then I don't even tell you what to do. I say, listen, make sure that you go and consult your financial advisor, or you do your own research, because you have your own relationship with this company and your own insight and information and understanding and things that you need to learn about that company. But let me tell you what I did. And then I preface the conversation by saying that I am not vested in this country, or I did invest in this country, and here are the reasons why. But I am not recommending that you do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So if I would not become a step baby daddy, why would you then recommend somebody, or better yet, why would I be prompted to or held accountable to recommending somebody to go and become a step baby daddy for somebody that I would never even consider doing that to or doing that for? There are so many stories of men that are having problems with women that they chose that didn't have children before they got with them or got married. And we can't even solve for that. And so if we can't even get people to be able to vet effectively and to be able to look at a woman and be able to tell whether or not she's actually a wife without children, why would I advocate you go out here? And then worse off, it then validates behavior because it tells women subconsciously that it's okay for you to leave the man that you decided to open up your legs and have children with to the man that you then said, I do until death do us part. And then I'm telling you to go out here and validate the behavior, because what it does is it empowers her and it gives her incentive the same way that the government incentivized y'all to be able to leave y'all homes through divorce. It's the same way that the government incentivizes through simps you leaving and then going into and taking care of something that somebody should be responsible for that you have nothing to do with. I would never advocate somebody to do something that I wouldn't do. What kind of ignorant, irresponsible advice are y'all giving out here in these people? And this is why it's important for us to take into consideration the source. Why would somebody recommend you do that? Why, and on God's green earth, of all of the things that they can recommend that you do, why would they tell you to pick up pieces they ain't picking up?
Mic drop. I'm not saying that you gotta agree totally with them. I believe that everything is subjective. Mm-hmm. And we also have to factor in circumstance.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, circumstances change a lot of narratives.
And make your own decisions.
Yeah.
Just because he's saying this don't mean you got to listen to him.
Because I'm saying that I don't want to date somebody with a kid, but who knows where my life will go. Everyone has ideas and theories and opinions. No one knows what life works out for you with, but you can still have your preferences and your opinions without being, what's the word I'm looking for? Mm-hmm. Without being marginalized for them. Thank you.
Yeah, that part.
But yeah, man, at the end of the day, love who you love.
Don't be mad if he end up being right for your situation. If you decide
it's honor in making that choice. I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just say you stupid or crazy.
I wouldn't say that,
because it is a very honorable thing to do.
I wouldn't even say it disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I will say that's a big decision, and it shouldn't be made just because you like the mother or the father of the child. Y'all need to take time. You need to take time to, one, get to know that person and their kids first before you really jump in. Because a lot of people will know each other for like a month and then they move in together.
And truly ask yourself, because I think we get past all of that. We jump into our wants and our needs. Mm-hmm. She bad, or he this and that, or she cold blooded, and we jump into these situations. Or this person make me happy, or sometimes it's just I don't want to be alone. This person is here. You have to really look into yourself and ask yourself, like, am I ready to take on this responsibility of being the caretaker for all these lives now? Because that's what it is. When you have a child, it's almost like when I take my daughter's cousins or other friends, kids, or she has a neighbor that comes over and play with her and stuff. When they're in my what's what I'm looking for again? I'm having a brain fart. When they're in my care, their lives are my responsibility. Period. If your child is with me, your child is safe in that moment while they're with me. Because I'm in control of that. And that's just part-time. That's why I don't even like watching people's kids. Because I know once your child is here, I am now putting my life on line for them kids. Mm-hmm. No matter what. Now you got to do that 100% when you bring another person in with kids. Now that child is for sure, these kids, all of y'all are not my responsibility. I have to be able to lay my life on the line for all of y'all. And this motherfucker won't wash the dishes. And I can't say nothing to this nigga when he don't wash the dishes. You like, that's my baby, don't say nothing to him. Well, you know what? When the robbers come, I'm going in every motherfucking room but his. Let that nigga figure it out there. You should have washed them dishes, nigga. I hope you take that ass whooping well, young man.
I agree.
Mic drop.
What's funny is one of the videos go like, should y'all talk about that? That's a controversial. I said we want people to,
Even if you don't agree with us, talk about it.
Right.
What video was it?
The podcast.
Oh, the relationship shit?
Exactly.
That was the point of me even doing this whole thing, was to be able to voice my opinions honestly.
Yeah.
Disagree with me. I don't give a fuck. And I'm not even being hateful. I think I'm just. I know.
No, I'm saying when people don't like somebody, they'll keep going back and back and back and back.
Like this motherfucker.
Okay, like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, start over.
He was like, okay,
right.
Ready? Okay. I'm okay. You can go.
Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to comment on the bottom. Tell y'all if y'all agree or disagree with what he said or what we said. And comment if you a baby mama, a step baby mama, or a step baby daddy. Comment down below. Tell us that your experience is not what he said. Share this with other people. Like it and subscribe.
And at the end of the day, we love the kids. It's not about the kids at all.
It's not about the kids. It's about these grown folks.
Like, comment, and subscribe.